It's Thursday, it's Monday, June 23rd, and you're listening to the Geek at Geek News Central. This is show number 958, sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com. Get a managed WordPress site for just $1 a month and a free domain name at GoDaddy, or pick up a domain name for $1.99. All of my specials can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. 216 folks took advantage of my codes last month. I want you to be one of the 300 we're shooting for in the month of June. Hey, you guys, you know what comes next. I got a great show lined up for you. Lots to chat about. Some decisions have been made, and some plans are in motion. We'll talk about that here in just a few minutes. You know what comes next. Strap in. Here it comes.
All right, people, I need a go, no-go for the Geek News Central podcast. Digital archive recorders.
We're go fly.
Microphone.
We're go fly.
Video feed.
Go.
Web browser.
Go.
RSS data stream aggregator.
Go fly.
Interflux Toddism suppressor.
All right, I'm confused.
Host readiness check.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
The Geek News Central podcast is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go. Cue Todd in
5,
Button, who's got the button?
4,
There is no cause for alarm.
3,
Everybody hold on to something.
2,
Just press the button.
1.
Showtime.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Geek News Central. Of course, my name is Todd Cochran, and I'm just really happy to have you here with me. And for all of you that are longtime listeners and watchers of the show, thanks for being here. Thanks for staying subscribed. Thanks for being part of the Ohana. Those of you here for the very first time, of course, this show I record live out of my studio in Honolulu, Hawaii. It's been beautiful here the past 2 or 3 days. Had a little rain today, but the trades are still here. Absolutely fantastic, and nothing like a beautiful, nice Hawaiian summer. But I know it's warming up wherever you may be, and we're going to get you guys warmed up tonight with a great show. And obviously, we want you to come back for more. And really, all you got to do is come over to the website, and really, it's easy to get hooked up here at geeknewscentral.com. And really, there's lots of great content on the website. And, of course, we've got great shows as well. We've got the Gadget Professor with Mr. Don Bain. We have Robot Underpants with Langley. And also some new shows potentially coming to the site in the short term. So we'll talk a little bit about that here in just a few minutes. But get subscribed on the website. There's a place to do that, along with the newsletter. The newsletter, really, I send out an email immediately following the show that gives you all the links to everything that I deemed important to put in the show, where there's more content in the show than there is in the show notes. If you haven't noticed that, we've been doing that for a while now. But I tell you, I'm glad to be with you here on this past weekend. Continuing my transformation. We'll talk about that as well. But if you want to reach out to me, it's real easy to do so via Twitter at Geek News. Or, of course, you can email me here directly, geeknews@gmail.com. That's the easy way to stay abreast of really what's going on here on the show. And or you keep me abreast of what you think is going on in the show. That was dumb. But anyway, just, hey, drop me a line. Let me know what you think, and field your comments, and send me links to cool stuff that you find. And we've got some stuff tonight that audience members have submitted. I'll cover during the show. I give credit at the end, of course, like I always do, and go through those. But you can also check us out on the Roku, Boxy, Samsung Smart TV, Google TV, Chromecast, soon Apple Fire TV. So it's all basically there. If you want to watch on the video or just listen, that's probably the best way for the majority of you. Well, of course, the show tonight is sponsored in part by our good friends over at GoDaddy.com. GoDaddy's been a long-time sponsor here at the show, and we've saved you guys tens of thousands, and probably at this point, probably hundreds of thousands of dollars based upon, kind of what we do is we're tracking people on what they're using for codes and everything. But, really, we've got some great deals this month continuing, and I want to just caution everyone that some of the deals are going to go away at the end of the month. The 32% off code, use that bad boy now, because it may not be available after July 1st, all right? Just fair warning. Now, I think the other codes are going to be good. And, of course, you can find, again, all my codes at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. I've got all the current codes, everything that's working. If you find one that doesn't, let me know. You can see in the bottom of the page, some of those are struck through. Those are the ones that are no longer working. But 32% off your purchase by using the promo code GO32OFF1, 25% off your purchase, including new top-level domains at GO25OFF5. You can get a $1.99.com by using promo code GNC199. You get $1 a month WordPress hosting with a free domain by using the promo code PRESS4, or you get $1 a month economy hosting with a free domain. See the features on that. It Geeks12 is a promo code. So again, 50% off plans as well. Really, there's a great way to mix and match everything. Even their website builder is $1 a month. So we've got everything. $1.99, 32% off. Huge savings for you. And really, all it takes is for you to visit the folks over at GoDaddy.com. You can click on the link at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy, or you can just use the promo codes when you're on the website at GoDaddy and get ready to check out. But we suggest best way to start is click on a link and lock in that savings as early as possible. But don't leave GoDaddy without using a promo code of mine if you can help it. Share my codes with your friends, family members, people that you know. Post them online. Anything you can do to drive traffic back to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy is greatly appreciated. Don't spam anybody, of course. We don't want you to do that. But we definitely appreciate everyone's utilization of codes and supporting our great sponsor. They've been here with us a long time. 9 years will be an anniversary next month. So fast approaching 9 years of continuous sponsorship of Geek News Central. And I'll be honest with you, they've been instrumental in keeping the lights on here. I can't understate that enough with all of you. It's absolutely critical. And I appreciate every one of you that have purchased a product with them in the past. It's really my sincere thanks. It allows me to continue to do what I do and be able to do new cool stuff. We'll talk about some of that here in a few moments. Also, I got an email today. Let's see if I can. Boy, did I hope I didn't bury it. Let me go up here, make sure I got this. So, one of our longtime writers, Kim is today. She let me know she's going to be doing some new things, moving on, and she isn't going to be blogging for us anymore. But we want to give a big round of applause to Kim for being with us here in blogging for a number of years. Her contributions have been absolutely fantastic, and we definitely appreciate her basically ongoing support and being a fan of the show as well. Almost all of our writers have came out of the show, and so I'm at this point now where I'm probably ready to add another writer to the show. If you're interested in becoming one of our paid writers here, let me know. And I've gotten emails in the past, but I want to kind of open it up new to folks today and bring you guys on. I pay a fair wage for a fair post. I think that's the most important thing. And that's part of the giving back, is that, what we earn from sponsorships and everything else we do here is put back into the site, mostly in the site and paying the writers, basically keeping the lights on, keeping my family fed. So that's, where it really kind of ties in pretty deep. But Kim, thanks for being a longtime contributor here. We're going to keep your account open. You're welcome to come back anytime to contribute. And we definitely appreciate your longtime support of the show. And this is what family's all about. I'm happy to see her move on to new things. And at the same time, open up an opportunity for someone that's part of our audience that may have some writing skills that want to come in and contribute to the site on a regular basis. Okay, so let's just talk a little bit about my transformation. I think I finished day 5, and the goal is 200 pounds. And with any luck, I'm going to make it. It's going to be close. I'll be honest with you, on Saturday, which would have been the 3rd day on the second 10-day plan, it was a little rough day. I was pretty grumpy. As a very grumpy Todd. Matter of fact, I told my daughter, she was nagging me. I said, just don't talk to me today. It's going to be one of those situations where I'm going to yell at you, and it's going to be unfair. So just, leave me alone. And she didn't heed the warning and kept bothering me pretty much all day, and had my irritation level up to here. But Sunday and today's been fantastic. Been on track. No desire to run to Subway or go to McDonald's or go to a steak place. The thought's there. It's always in the back of your head. But if you guys want to check out what I'm doing in the program I'm on, mypurium.com, mypurium.com/podcast. I did pick that name as part of my business association with MyPurium. But the ultimate goal for me is a complete lifestyle change, food, everything. And this is a way to kind of kickstart me to the goal to try to, long-term goal of getting to 180 pounds. Obviously, maybe if we get there, we'll see what happens next. Maybe we can get to 165, but baby steps at this point. But I'll be honest, the pounds are melting off at this point at a pretty remarkable rate. I'm going to cheer if I make 199, but I want to be on this journey with you guys together. And if any of you want to join me, and what I've really figured out, I asked my wife today, I said, how much have we spent? Because her and I have been doing it together. She's on her second, and she really doesn't need to lose any weight. I can't tell you how much she weighs without getting shot here, but it's probably more than like a Weight Watchers would be. But I think right now, total investment, we're at probably about $10 a pound. And part of it was my fault because I put on 5 pounds after the last time because I was on travel, didn't have a lot of options, and really, so it could be less than that, but about $10 a pound. And I think that at this point, it's a pretty good investment if I can keep it up and keep it off. That's the key. But again, it's a complete lifestyle change. But mypurium.com/podcast. There's 2 opportunities over there. You get $50 off by using the promo code podcast. At the same time, you have an opportunity to become a business member. And if you have success with this, you can promote this as a business. Otherwise, you just come in and get the discount. Give it a try. Let me know how you do. I want to hear. I know we've had a number of people. I'm seeing the orders come in of people ordering. So let me know how you're doing. All right. So I put a call out a couple days ago on looking for folks that may be interested in doing a show. And I'm up to 3. And I'm really kind of excited about these 3 shows. One's an existing show that may come over and be part of the network here. Second one is a gal that I know that lives in the UK that has done a show for many, many years. And she's fantastic on what she does. I think she's going to be a great addition. And then we have one of our listeners that's basically coming in raw, and they're considering doing a show as well. So Angelo has promised me, we've gotten our major client stuff delivered on Wednesday. He's going to put a bunch of time into my new templates, of course, right before I go on vacation. So keep our fingers crossed there that by the time I get back from vacation, we can launch the new site and then immediately add these shows over. I do want to thank, we've also had a number of folks come in as insiders. That number is increasing. I really appreciate all of you that are becoming insiders and supporting the show. Additionally, financially, it is appreciated. The colored lights didn't get installed. Sunday, I had planned on doing a couple of things. My wife and I, family had an engagement in the morning, and then came back to the house. And my son had soccer practice, and she took him off the way she went, and didn't get back as early as I want. So I couldn't go down to Home Depot to get. I want to mount it really nice, and I'm going to build a mounting shelf for this. So maybe. Before I leave, maybe, I don't know when we'll get them in, but I've got the wood now and everything, so I just got to build it up. So the color lights are going to be installed to add some ambience here to the studio, and I think it's going to be good. It's going to change the overall tone in here, and I'm looking forward to doing that. All right, so last show I talked a little bit about the decision on CES, and I want to talk about where I've kind of come to a decision from a mindset. Sent an email to Tech Podcast Network on Sunday and laid out basically what I told you guys. And I talked to the CEA today, called my contact over there. As a matter of fact, the lead PR person, communications director at CEA, and we talked about my plans and how we kind of want to have the same spot, but make it more into a kind of a lounge where we can relax and don't have to worry about having security, and people can come in, and if the team wants broadband, they can. So it's a little bit more from when I talked last time, but the spot was so good, I didn't want to give up the spot in case a big sponsor came in. So we're moving forward, and I know we've got a few listeners of the show that have helped us in the past. And you're more than welcome to come back with me to CES again. I want you to come back. So if you thought about going to CES and can help out as a support person, because we're going to be more on our feet this time. We're going to be walking. We're going to be doing camera work, seeing a lot more of the show as individual content creators than we have in the past. So definitely looking for folks that want to come out and help and be part of the team. And let me know if you're interested. Drop me an email at geeknews@gmail.com. All right, so one thing I do want to talk about is, and it sounds like money, but I need to think about a serious fundraiser. I'd like to raise $5,000 to offset my expenses and my team expenses for January. And I don't know if I want to do a Kickstarter or one of these. We did last year, did an event where we got T-shirts and a bunch of stuff. I don't know if I can go to that level again of getting. Actually, Jeffrey took care of that last year, getting the T-shirts and stuff. But definitely want to raise for me, for this show, for me as an individual, not as a team effort. This will be for Geek News Central's coverage and what we do there. Something about some sort of a fundraiser, maybe a 30, 45-day promotion. I'd love to hear you guys what you think I should do in return for an event, for basically a contribution, because I want you guys to get added value in anything we do here. So let me know. Send me an email or send Sam an email, insider@geeknewscentral.com, and we'll compile all that and come up with a decision. All right, I have yacked way too long, so let me go ahead and get into the tech. There's entire huge stack of stuff. But for those of you that are iPhone users, don't forget, we're getting close to the time where there's some refreshes going to happen with iPads and everything else. So if you've got like a couple of iPads, and you got one that's a previous gen, and you're planning on buying a new one, it's time to put your order in at Gazelle, to basically get that quote so that you can get the maximum dollar return on it if you're thinking about buying a new device. So don't forget about Gazelle. Links on the website and how you can recycle your mobile phones, and don't forget also you can pick up a drop cam as well. All right, let me go ahead and close this and save that. And for some reason, I don't know why at the beginning I didn't edit that. Yes, today is Monday. So let me open up Chrome here and go over to the first article. And I want to talk about Apple, Google, and Samsung. And this is, we're seeing more and more of this in the news, that they're trying to take on diabetes with wearables. And there's a good report on CNET on what they're attempting to do. All of them, none of them are admitting it, but it's very obvious that diabetes is very high on the, for a better word, on the try to monitor list. And you think about diabetes, and here in Hawaii, diabetes is epidemic. If you can have a consistent measurement of your blood glucose, and for those that are diabetics, this is really important. You know that, okay, you're getting a little high, you need to do this, or you're getting too low, you need to do that, or you're in danger of passing out, and all these other things that can happen. I'm really excited about this, and I've talked about this 2 or 3 times here, at least in the last month. But I think someone's really going to get this figured out. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited about this part of health tech taking it to the next level. Of course, Jamie Davis covers this stuff in extensive depth. And so, definitely check out Jamie's show. I'll have a link up to Jamie Davis's Tech Med show. I think I just pronounced it Med Tech show. But anyway, we'll get you guys over there and start listening, because he's covering all this stuff in greater detail. But I'm very, very excited about this kind of technology and being able to focus on this a lot more as we get as the year goes on and more of this type of stuff comes out. Now, completely changing topics here. One of the things we had to do, we launched a new shopping cart over at Raw Voice, so we're not just taking PayPal anymore. We're taking Visa, American Express, MasterCard, Discover Card, and still PayPal. And one of the things we had to do is we had to get a PCI compliance. And this is really critical, and talked a little bit about this on the last show, but Lifehacker's got a good article about this on how you should check a hotel's PCI compliance before swiping your credit card. Apparently, a lot of owners of hotels did not know that they needed a PCI compliance. And it goes beyond the computer stuff. There's also paperwork that goes along with it. So when you're going to a hotel, and I've really been a big purveyor of saying do not use debit cards anymore. Because if someone gets your debit card, they can empty your checkbook. And some of they got these Visa share check cards, at least I do with Navy Federal. It's just it's a Visa card, but when you swipe it, it comes straight out of the checkbook. I've stopped even carrying that card because that's a direct link to your checkbook, and boy, oh boy, they can really whack it. Now, whereas if you're on a Visa or a MasterCard, and you can go back and get redress, but I don't even want to risk it because it could take some time, and depending on how much is in your checking account, it could really impact you, right? So I just use a regular Visa card. I pay the bill off every month. That's key. We collect the miles. That seems to be a safe thing to do right now, but don't use debit cards. Really try to avoid using share check cards as well, because it's a crazy time out there for folks, being basically having their accounts emptied. And as you're traveling, make sure the people you're dealing with have PCI clients, and they usually have a little sticker on their business sign or where it says take Visa or whatever. All right, I want to give a big shout out and congratulations to a good friend of mine here in Honolulu. He picked up his Tesla today. I am insanely jealous. It's a beautiful car. I took a picture of it and showed it to everyone, and drool coming out of my mouth. I'm glad you got the $60,000 or whatever it cost to buy that bad boy. It's absolutely beautiful, but congratulations. He must have hit the lotto or something. Bought a boat too, so he's in the travel business. I must be in the wrong business, because he afforded to buy a boat in Hawaii and a Tesla. Those two things together, ka-ching. Just parking a boat here is, you think house payments are expensive. It's pretty crazy when it comes to, because we have limited harbors, and if you can't afford to have it docked, you got to pull it out in the bay and drop an anchor. It's kind of nuts. But anyway, cool. But in the news, talking about cars, a company called, Cruise, and that's the name of the group, aims to make a self-driving car for you. And basically, if you have an Audi or they have a list of vehicles, but Cruise is a pretty cool system. It doesn't drive your car completely for you, but it maintains speeds and will help avoid accidents, a whole bunch of stuff. Costs $10K, but you have to live in the Bay Area. You just can't drive this thing anywhere with it activated. But Cruise does all the road mapping itself, scaling beyond a few locales, and basically at 10 grand to trick out your Audi if you have one. And I don't know if you have to have an A4 or what level of Audi you have to have, but it's an aftermarket kit called RP-1. And if you live in the Bay Area and have an extra $10K to spend, you can get semi-automated vehicle driving. All right, imagine being in China, and I have only been to Hong Kong, and that was when I was in the Navy. We got to spend an afternoon shopping and eating and drinking. We didn't get to spend a whole lot of time there. I think a total time on deck was 6 or 7 hours, so we jammed a lot into a short period of time. But imagine being in Beijing, and you're using one of those quadcopters to take some images. Take some video with a GoPro. And apparently in Beijing, there's 3 rings. There's the outer, inner, and then the middle. And this one guy basically was detained by the Chinese police because of his his DJI quadcopter. And he got some great pictures. They're fantastic. And more than, it's a great story what happened to him. Apparently, he hovered very close to the equivalent of the NSA building in China. And he obviously was rolled up, but he got out of China without losing his gear. To show this thing, what he had, this is a pretty expensive little item to travel with. It's a $1,300 copter. Pretty cool. I'd love to have one, but I'd crash this thing in about 15 seconds. I just do not have the skills to fly with things. My kids would do fine, but I would definitely wreck the thing in an hour, and I'd be out $1,400. But good story, some great pictures, some images that you ought to check out. They're just truly incredible. One thing I will say is my GoPros have now been almost completely taken over by my daughter. She put some stuff up on her Facebook page recently when they went to a snorkeling spot here in Hawaii, and she scared me a little bit because she says, "Oh yeah, I was setting the camera down in the water, then swimming away." I'm like, "What?" And she said, "Oh yeah, I had a string to it," but she actually set it on like rocks and stuff, and so we had a little talk about the cost of the GoPro and having positive control of it at all times, and ocean currents, and all it would take is one little flip, and this thing would be down in a crevice, and she would owe me $400. So we talked about that a little bit. But these GoPro cameras, are incredible on what they can do. We talked about these new top-level domains a lot. And I'm waiting for a specific top-level domain to be introduced. It hasn't been introduced yet. I'm kind of getting impatient. I have actually been ignoring kind of the other ones because I was spending too much money. But the folks in France are pissed, specifically about .wine. The French government has criticized the U.S. body responsible for web addresses after it launched the .wine domain name. And we know that France is famously protective of its status as the world leading wine producer. I'm going to tell you, they put some pretty good wine out of Napa, too. And says the new domain could undermine its international trade agreements. Those agreements mean that the use of geographical indicators like champagne and region-specific wine names are protected. And basically, that stops firms from labeling sparkling wine as champagne, for example. France is worried that a company could buy domains such as champagne.wine and undermine these agreements. Well, my suggestion to the French government is get your checkbook out and start buying domains. And so I'm kind of like, oh, well, so sorry. You guys make a lot of money. People drink a lot of wine. You look at going to a Costco, and what do they have? They got 5,000 bottles laying out, and you guarantee that they wouldn't dedicate that big of an area to wine unless they were moving a lot of wine. So these folks can afford to get their checkbooks out and buy these domains and protect their their IP, and get it out there and get it done. And if there's a bidding war, so be it. You can afford it. So we'll see where this leads, but these little disputes like this are going to happen a lot with these new top-level domains. I don't think it's going to end anytime soon, to be honest with you. To be honest with you, tonight's show, there was just a whole sequence of great articles, and I was having a hard time kind of adjusting them together. So we're going to be all over the place tonight. So there's great articles at the end, good articles in the beginning, good stuff in the middle. Don't leave, because I've got a lot of great stuff for you tonight, or whenever you're listening. It may be morning for you. You got to learn to become agnostic with that, and it used to be good. I need to reiterate that some of you are listening at different hours of the day. Lawyers can now scour potential jurors' social media sites, and they can do it during the trial as well. It's been approved by the American Bar Association. They're saying it's ethical for lawyers to scour online for publicly available musings of citizens called for jury service, and even jurors in deliberations. The ABA does warn lawyers against actively following or friending jurors or otherwise invading the private internet areas. That's pretty interesting. So now, if you've been talking about this trial and you basically, or this case, and you go up for jury duty, they can kind of look through and say, okay, if you had an opinion on this, to either disqualify you or maybe qualify you as a potential juror, and to watch it, make sure you keep your mouth shut during the trial and during deliberations. So it's an interesting move, and I'm sure some people will raise their eyebrow on that. All right, Sprint Wi-Fi calling is going to go international. For those of you who have Sprint phones, you know that they've got Wi-Fi calling that's been rolled out back in January. Soon, Sprint customers will be able to take advantage of the service outside the United States. What they're going to do is the feature allows users to place calls over Wi-Fi using their regular telephone number. So it's going to be cool. You're going to be able to be in Japan and use Wi-Fi in your Sprint phone to make a phone call that'll ring at the other end with a local number. So this is pretty cool stuff here. It really is. And we'll see where this leads. But good on Sprint for doing that. That's innovation. At the same time, Sprint expands LTE service to 28 more cities. If you're a Sprint user, how you guys, how you guys getting a feel for Sprint and T-Mobile at this time? How are they about the same, half difference? One half dozen the other. Love to hear those of you that have each service, how you guys are doing with them. We did not get my wife's iPhone this past weekend. She kind of just backed out, and I don't know if she's waiting for the new one or not. But anyway, she's going to continue to use her phone on the new trip, on the trip with their old one. But what are you guys seeing on the service level between T-Mobile and Sprint? And the reason we're going to go with those, they got great family plans. They're much cheaper than Verizon or AT&T. So let me know what you think about your carriers that you're using now. Hey, there's a heavy-duty science article about the Higgs Boson and how scientists are just absolutely going gaga over the data. I'm not going to go into it except to say that it's going to hurt your brain a little bit when you read it. Link will be up in the show notes for you to check out. At the same time, the folks at SpaceX are going to be pushing a commercial satellite launch next month. They had a problem with one of the motors, so they're going to go back and see what's going on with that. They're taking 6 mini satellites up for Orbcomm, and of 13, I think, that they're going to be launching for them. There's a new probe that's expected to leave our solar system after it finishes its mission at Pluto. So this is kind of interesting news here. I didn't know this was going to happen, but when NASA's New Horizons mission completes its study of Pluto in the summer of 2015, data from Earth will stream to that spacecraft to create a digital record that it will carry with it beyond the solar system. The record echoes, basically going to have the same type of information that the golden record has. It was carried by NASA's Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 spacecraft in the 70s. And this is exciting stuff here that they're going to be doing this. And so New Horizons is going to be digitally embedded with a message. And I don't know exactly how that's going to happen there, how they're going to protect the data. But Carl Sagan and 4 others are involved, and they're going to be selecting a series of sounds and images. So even on this one, so very, very cool stuff here for this satellite, for this this probe. So we're going to have another. This will be the 3rd one that we're going to eject. Hopefully, they send it a different way. Out of the solar system. So very cool stuff here. And in those of you that have kids, you tell your kids about this now, and 20 years from now, they can, or 30 years from now, or 40 years from now, they can talk about how this probe will at some point be reaching the heliosphere. Pretty crazy to think that something today that they're talking about now won't even get out of our solar system for at least another 40 years. That's pretty nuts, isn't it? And it tells you how primitive we are in space travel. Those of you that live in the Windy City, Chicago plans to install sensors and light poles to observe air quality, light intensity, sound volume, heat, precipitation, and wind. The sensor will also count people by observing cell phone traffic. So Big Brother continues to expand his reach and watching the masses. Cablevision's bid to end Viacom's forced channel bundling has survived a court challenge. A federal judge rejected Viacom's motion to dismiss an antitrust lawsuit by Cablevision, which is trying to end Viacom's practice of imposing a financial penalty on companies that try to distribute its most popular channels without also licensing its less attractive ones. So here's a crazy part about this, and this is the thing that I thought that was amazing. So in an agreement in 2012, Viacom required Cablevision to license a dozen less popular programming networks, termed suite networks. Now, what they wanted to, the four commercially critical that they wanted, the four that Cablevision only wanted to pay for was BET, Comedy Central, MTV, and Nickelodeon. Now, the other ones they didn't want were Centric, CMT Pure Country, Logo, MTV Hits, MTV Jams, Nick Jr., Nick 2, Nicktoons, Palladia, Teen Nick, TR3, VH1 Classic, and VH1 Soul. Now, apparently, the money at stake that they needed to pay Viacom for those extra shows they didn't want was close to $1 billion. So you can see why they want to unbundle that. They don't want to buy those smaller shows. They want to buy what they want, open up more channels for more content like podcast, and not pay for the junk. Now, some of you may be CMT fans. You may be MTV Jams fans. For me, I'm looking at that list. I'm like, well, those can be gone. I don't watch any of those programs. I'm sure many people don't. So I'm sure Viacom also knows where people go to watch content. And if a lot of people are using those channels, why carry them and pay a cool $1 billion to be forced to do so? So hopefully this court proceeding moves forward and they're able to get this unbundled. We'll see. Nest Dropcam Buy offers consumer-friendly surveillance. We've been talking about Big Brother, but Google, we think, is want to become a much bigger brother. And we know that Google's been doing robotics and balloon-powered internet. But with the purchase of Dropcam, the company just picked up another piece of connected future. And so just so you guys are clear, remember, Google bought Nest bought Dropcam, but with Google's money, obviously. So people are saying, is it worth $555 million? And a lot of folks are saying that Dropcam users are now uploading streaming into the security systems at Dropcam more video per minute than what's being uploaded to YouTube. And of course, I've got my camera running in private mode right now. You can't see it. It actually isn't in here. It's in another room. But and we're using it for a security type purpose right now. We're checking on something. We're watching something. And we've got a concern here. So they are going to be, as more of these go out and as people make if they point it out the window and they make that stream publicly available, they might be able to tie that into more of the basically surveillance network that's happening here in the United States that the government could use. But that would be an opt-in thing that could happen down the road. This is speculation by the folks at PC Mag. Now, they're also going to be coming out with a camera peripheral for their Dropcam called Tab. The $29 sensors can be placed on doors, windows, and even valuable objects. With Dropcam and Tabs, you can get alert every time your back door's open, and it's connected to your system. And so it's a motion sensor for the Dropcam. It keeps tabs on what's going on in your house. It gives, you may not have a camera there, but at least you'll have an indication that something happened. So they're tying that in. It's kind of an interesting move here. And I, up until today, was not aware that they had this as a product. And, there's lots of options now. There's almost becoming too many options for security and that type of stuff because it's getting nuts. I've got another article later in the show talking about some stuff that's coming out with Best Buy that sounds even more tantalizing. But again, you can put these Dropcam tabs on doors, windows, and valuables, even things your camera can't see, and it'll send you a message when a door was open or so forth. Again, $29. They come in white or black. So again, it's all about this extended home experience and tracking what's going on in your house. All right, switching to science news. I told you we're going to be moving around a lot tonight. The satellite swarm that is basically, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but today we have a swarm of satellites. It's called the ESA Swarm Mission. It consists of 3 9-meter satellites orbiting the planet at altitudes between 300 and 530 kilometers. And they've been monitoring Earth's magnetic field and how it works. And they're saying right now that the magnetic North Pole is on the move and may at some point soon end up in Siberia. And we all know that history shows us that about every 1,000 years, the Earth's magnetic field flips. And while we may not be at that point yet, it'll be fun if it happens in our lifetimes. It could prove to be an interesting few weeks and to see how things will change, right? But anyway, they don't know if this is indicative of a flip that's in progress. I think it's going to be something that would happen pretty fast if it happened. I think it's not something that just, slowly happens. I think it's one of those things gets to a certain point and it does the tip. And of course, it's all about the core in the middle of the planet. But some pretty cool measurements here and some pretty cool images, and I'll have that link up in the show notes for you to check out. But really, it's kind of cool what they've been able to match. All right, so if you're in Germany and you need to park your car, travelers at Dusseldorf Airport can soon leave the job to a robot valet. So the robot, basically, you pull your car up to valet, and the robot comes in and picks your car up and takes it to the parking lot and parks it. The service costs 29 euros a day and targets busy business travelers. And you can program it so that the car is waiting for you when you get off. Basically, you can tell via cell phone that you're through, you've landed, and bring my car to the valet. So this is kind of cool stuff. It's all about helping the business folks, and I think it's pretty slick. All right, Apple manufacturers gone on mass hiring spree ahead of iPhone 6 production. Apparently, Foxconn is gearing up, and they're hiring 100,000 new employees for the iPhone 6. And a lot of folks are adding a lot of people. Foxconn may be responsible for producing as much as 70% of the iPhone 6 orders. The production is set to start in July, which would be cutting it close for a September launch, but it's in line with more in line with an October launch. So we'll see what happens. So if you've been wondering when those phones are going to be out, that's the date. Also, some great news in the science front. A new material could prove massive boost to solar cell efficiency. A group of scientists working at the University of Utah believe they've discovered a method substantially boosting solar cell efficiencies. And really, it's all about focusing the light and different wavelengths of the light to be able to get the most impact on the cells and not have to have what they call multi-junction cells. So this is pretty amazing stuff, and they say that they can get like a almost 50% increase in the performance of solar cells out of using what they're calling it's basically a kind of like a filter that's laid over the top of the photovoltaics, and then it focuses the light much more precisely. So this is pretty cool. And it's called a polychromat layer. Big words, but if they can figure out how to get it into the manufacturing process, it could really help those of you that are on areas where solar doesn't make a lot of sense, but if you get another 20% efficiency out of them, maybe it does. Hey, congratulations to Curiosity. It's celebrating 1 Martian year on the red planet. And, of course, 1 Martian year is equal to 687 Earth days. And we know that the rover's been on the planet since August 6th of 2012 and doing all kinds of cool science. And they took a selfie for the occasion. I have that link for you to check out. You got a Chromebook? Have you bought one in the last year? Did you notice your Verizon data isn't working anymore? Well, apparently, Verizon, which was supposed to give all new Chromebook buyers 2 years of internet access, only gave them a year. And there's quite the discussion today all over the net about this, people complaining. And for some reason, Verizon has flipped all Chrome users the bird and hasn't followed through on the guarantee that was basically provided in the original purchase. So pretty sad on that. If you're an Internet Explorer user, you've got new protection against potent form of malware. I guess IE has finally decided to help in restricting or not allowing to happen some common errors that have really made IE weak over time. And isolating what's called DOM objects, and that's for those of you that are programmers, you'll know what that is. But they are basically separating the memory for different types of objects and reducing the type of object can be allocated to a given location, which in turn is going to help this relax or not allow an injection of code and so forth. So those of you that have IE, you don't really need to know the mechanics except to know it's a little better protected with the latest update. All right, now here's a company I wanted you to really pay attention to, and one that I was not at all on my radar. It's called Wink. And many of you probably have not heard of Wink, but you soon may encounter its logo. The Wink app, it's basically a platform that comes with a base station that, one thing that we've always had challenges when we were at CES is everyone says, oh, this is Bluetooth, this is Z-Wave, this is Zigbee, this is wireless, and instead of regular Wi-Fi, they got all these crazy, for better word, all these crazy protocols, and none of them could get together to work together to come up with a standard. So what they've done is Wink has got a HomeKit that connects to your router, and basically it any device that's made that can connect to it and communicate, and that way you can have different manufacturer stuff. Will have the Wink logo, and you will know what you can buy from different manufacturers. Now, here's the thing that's different about this company. They are going to be in Home Depot in a big, big way. They're going to have one of those kiosk areas where you can look at all the different products and all the different services, whether it be a motion sensor, whether it be a camera, whether it be a connected appliance. So this is good, and I think they're going to do very, very well. And they've worked with folks that are making air conditioners, thermostats from Honeywell, and I don't know if the folks from Dropcam and so forth have gotten on board yet, but this is all good, folks. I'm telling you, this is going to clean this market up and allow us to, buy onesie twosies of stuff as we see fit, but as long as it has the Wink logo. So that's a challenge in going all in on a platform. Like the Dropcam thing is cool. I keep looking up there. It's not up there. The Dropcam, tabs are cool, but I think this Wink stuff is going to be even more impressive, and it's going to be available. The app and hub is going to be available for $80 starting in July. Oracle, they're the company that just keeps hammering away. And, it amazes me the amount of money that they're willing to spend. Oracle today agreed to buy Microsystems for $5.3 billion. I'm thinking to myself, who's Microsystems? And I kind of run through the old register database here, and they basically have a lot of business clients, cash registers, hospitality providers, retailers, and they bought the company. $5.3 billion. I don't know a lot about Microsystems, but it's one of those companies you're like, that company was worth $5.3 billion. All right, how many of you glasswares out there are a little bit anal, I guess for a better word, or picky about how clean your glasses are? I can never seem to get my glasses clean enough. When I was at CES, they had a machine there that I stuck my glasses in. It was absolutely pristine, and I wish I could have one in my home. It was pretty big, but there's a Kickstarter going on right now that I'm really excited about. It's by a company called Clearis Eyewear Cleaner, and sure your hands don't get wet and dirty. Now what they're doing here. Now, let me look at the see how much the entry points are. Oh, come on! How come we didn't take me to Kickstarter, and don't cheat me like that, Uber Gizmo? See, that really irritates me when they talk about this. Okay, there we go. There's the Kickstarter. So they got about 30 days to go, and they got a lot of money to raise. But if you want to get your glasses cleaned, they got a long ways to go. They only got 35 backers, and they need $280,000, so 28 days to go. I might not even talk about this because it's probably not going to get there. Let me see what the backer levels are. you're going to need to have $269 to get a Claris cleaner. Black or white, and package of the. I just, have you ever seen these professional glass cleaners? They're fantastic. I don't know if I'll spend $269 for one, but they're a long way from their goal. But maybe if enough of us think this is a cool Kickstarter, we'll get involved. But want to get your glasses clean and have a device to do it? This is the way to do it. All right, hey, the folks over at Engadget have got a great article about how to disappear almost completely, or the actual illusion of privacy. And this is an eye-opener for me. It's a few points in here that made me go kind of, and it's talking about metadata and how metadata matters. So this is an example, and I'm not going to go into the article, but I want you guys to come over and check this out, because they hit some really good points in here that makes you go, So, for example, they know someone rang a phone sex service at 2:24 and they spoke for about 18 minutes, but they don't know what you talked about. This is a type of collection that's being done on people today. Or they know you called the suicide prevention hotline from the Golden Gate Bridge, but the topic of the call remains a secret. Well, really not. Or they know you spoke about an HIV testing service, then your doctor, then your health insurance company in the same hour. But they don't know what you discussed. Not really, but the metadata has lots of information that would allow you to imply many things. We know that the government's doing what they're doing. And, but essentially, every time you log on to many websites, they're doing all kinds of tracking and scraping, and there's lots of data being collected on us that is kind of scary. There really isn't privacy anymore, and really to retain your privacy, you almost have to completely disconnect. But even that's not possible unless you go cash. But you can't use cash. You can't fly. I guess you can pay for an airline ticket with cash, but you're going to get like 5 screenings. I don't know if you can even pay for a rental car with cash. There's a lot of things you can't do. You need a credit card, sadly. So there's really not any way to completely go off the grid. But, we've talked about here before about some things that happened to me. And I'm sure you've seen when you've done search results. You're searching for something, 3 days later, an ad pops up. As important, there's another article talking about on the Register, another hard-hitting one, and these are 2 great ones. I mean, really great articles. And the title of this is AT&T plays Game of Thrones every bit as ruthless as HBO version. And it talks about what's coming, about how companies are being goggled up, consolidation, all the stuff that we're worried about becoming, conglomerates, where we're not going to, we're going to have very few choices. And talks about the leverages that these big companies are going to be able to apply that smaller companies are not going to, and that's where it's really going to hurt us, as these smaller groups are not going to be able to get the volume discount that these bigger companies are. So this is a great article. It doesn't cover just AT&T. Talks about Comcast, talks about DirecTV, Dish, the whole 9 yards. So another good one we'll have up in the show notes for you tonight. Also, if you got Google Glass, there's another company out making glasses for glass. So if you're interested, I have that link up for you to take a peek. Also, if you're an Amazon Prime member, Amazon's brought free ad-supported TV episodes to iOS plus HBO content. This is big. So this is huge. So they're bringing it to the iOS apps. I don't know if they're bringing it to Android or not, but this is pretty exciting. This is, of course, not the first time Amazon rolled out free ad-supported episodes. However, the company already offers this feature in a Kindle Fire device and on the Roku, where it could be discovered by way of browsing first free episodes carousel from the TV or video section. So if you're not an HBO subscriber, this may be a way to get access to some stuff, okay? Also, and I should have had this earlier, but if you're in Britain, Google has started to sell glass to Brits. Looks like for either that's the equivalent of about $1,700 US. That's either £1,000 or €1,000. I think it's £1,000, but I didn't think the exchange rate was quite that high. But anyway, Google Glass, if you want them in Britain, you can get them. All right. Our little viral article that's made the rounds, a little girl's letter gets her dad a week off from her work at Google. Of course, they don't say if they made dad take leave or not, but this little girl wrote a letter to Google that she posted up online. Said, "Dear Google workers, can you please make sure when dad goes to work, he gets one day off like he can get a day off?" Now, this is probably a very young girl that wrote this. "On Wednesday, because Daddy only gets a day off on Saturday from Katie. P.S. It's Daddy's birthday. P.P.S. It's summer, you know." So here's a little girl that wanted her daddy to have a day off so she could spend it with him on his birthday. And the folks at Google sent a letter. "Dear Katie, thank you for your thoughtful note and request. Your father has been hard at work designing many beautiful and delightful things for Google and millions of people across the globe. On the occasion of his birthday and recognizing the importance of taking some Wednesdays off during the summer, we're giving him the first week of July as vacation time. Enjoy." So I'm wondering if this guy had actually take vacation. I wonder if he put his daughter up there writing the note. That's the question. So it is an authentic letter. Good job on Google for responding to the little girl that wanted her daddy to be home on his birthday. My kids don't care when my birthday is. It's nice that they did. All right, the International Space Station getting an X-ray machine that works in space. Exciting stuff here. Very, very cool. This is a first. And it's not that big, but an X-ray machine that works in space. They're going to be able to get all kinds of cool science done with that. And, yeah, but I wonder if they all have to wear a meter or something. How many are having a hard time finding apps in the App Store? Cool ones? I have the same 100 apps I've had for a while. Have you got a cool app that you've been using for a while? If you have, I really want to hear from you. Drop me an email, geeknews@gmail.com, or Twitter me one at geeknews, because really, we got to help each other. There's 1.2 million apps. We can't find them all, but you guys are going to be digging around finding stuff. I'm going to be digging around finding stuff. Let me know what you find, okay? I tell you, lately, I've been batting about 1,000. A lot of crap apps out there, too. Really, really junky ones. But, every once in a while, you find a gem. Google, watch out, GoDaddy, begins testing a domain registration service. And it's going to be tied to hosting and DNS and a whole bunch of other stuff. This is kind of curious. They're saying that Google's small businesses facing division decided to build the product because, according to their research, 55% of all small businesses still don't have a website. How can that be in this day and age? Is there anyone listening to this show that has a small business that doesn't have a website? Please, after all these years, don't be one of these 55%. And you can get started real easy by the stuff I told you at the beginning of the show about our sponsor. But I asked to be on the beta. I'm going to see if I can get in and see what they're doing here. But this is a new area for Google. And they're partnering with people like Squarespace and some other folks. So Wix, Weebly, and Shopify is who looks like they're partnering with. So this could turn out to be a very interesting development by Google. We'll see where it goes. All right, if you have a 7.1 phone, there's a jailbreak's been released, but proceed with caution. It's a Chinese jailbreak. It's called Pangu, and it does successfully install the famed Cydia jailbreak package, but people are really weird that it also includes a sketchy Chinese pirated app installer. So be very, very, I would not do this ever with this particular group. I would not jailbreak. You might just be calling home to the Chinese government and reporting everything and having your phone data stolen, and just be careful, okay? Now, one thing, when I go on business trips, the critical thing that I have to do is make sure that no matter where I'm at time zone wise, how much I've traveled, that I got to get myself up and get to where I need to be. If it's a meeting, if it's a conference, the alarm clock rings, you got to roll out. Sometimes it's hard. But apparently, Marissa Meyer fell asleep and kept ad executives waiting hours at the Cannes Advertising Festival. I didn't even know this existed. I guess that's for the elite of the elite. But apparently she had a dinner scheduled, and she showed up a couple hours late. She said, I fell asleep. Isn't a CEO like that supposed to have handlers? Don't they have an assistant with them that would be there like, boom, 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 Marissa, get your butt up, let's go? So these folks were pissed, wasted their time. How can that happen? How can you be a business owner and miss a meeting? Especially that, Yahoo's in trouble, and she needs to make as many friends as she can. All right, one of the websites that we've talked about maybe using here is Patreon, Patreon. I had told my guys about this type of an idea several years ago, and they just collected a cool $15 million in Series A funding. I'm just like, how did I? You're like, shoot. I mean, I sent the email with a link to the guys this afternoon. I'm like, but anyway, congratulations to Patreon for that's where you can actually become a Patreon of a show. Patreon, Patron, but the site is Patreon, and support a show. They got artists and stuff over there, and it's a place where you publicly can set up a thing where there's funding and stuff. Maybe that's what I need to do. I don't know, but the insider thing has been working well enough. I think we'll stay with that at geeknewscentral.com/insider. But again, congratulations to the Patreon team. Hey, for you aviation enthusiasts out there, you've probably seen the Raptor fly. You've probably seen F-18 fly. But how about taking a ride on a MiG-31 on the wing, on the tail, from the cockpit in a very unique video? They didn't do anything crazy, but this is one of the cooler videos I've seen actually come out of Russia, and very, very cool what they did with this video. And two MiG-31s flying. Get up personal with the Russian Red Star. Definitely check it out. Link will be up in the show notes. Hey, San Francisco City are cracking down on mobile applications that allow users to buy and sell parking space. I'm going to be using this when I'm in San Francisco. I don't care if because getting parking in San Francisco is a pain in the butt. But city attorneys said his office sent a cease and desist notice to the developers of Monkey Parking, a mobile app which lets users sell their public parking spaces in crowded urban areas. So you get in your car, you're not going to move, and say, hey, it's available for $5. You wait till the guy gets there, you pull out, they pull in, bada bing, bada boom. And the city's not happy about this. Not happy at all. And they want them to shut them down. They say, you're not authorized to really not. They're paying me to take the spot that I legally hold because I'm paying the meter. I think this is a great idea. Don't you love disruption? All right, Microsoft, and this was an article that was submitted by one of our Ohana listeners. Microsoft OneDrive jumps to 15 gigs free and 1 terabyte for Office 365. So if you've got, this is pretty cool. It doubles its cloud storage and goes deep for Office 365 users. So this is big. And free storage climbs from 7 gigs to 15 gigs. And of course, that's good news for any of you that use that particular service. Final thing today. A mysterious island vanishes on Saturn's moon Titan. Apparently, they've been imaging this island in a certain part of Titan for a long time, and all of a sudden it just disappeared. I think we don't know a lot about Titan. Maybe it wasn't an island. Maybe it was ice or something like that. But they're freaking out about it, and it's a lot of discussion going on today. Maybe it was an alien spaceship. Who knows? All right, let me go ahead and look and see what we've got for email today. And wow, I got a whole bunch of... Where did that email come from? All right, see what we've got here. And let me look. Today's date is 23rd. Last show was on the 19th. And so that one is not... That one's good. Got the email from Jeff on... Google Nest Labs acquiring Dropcam. Thanks, Jeff, for that. Got an email from MS Small Bills. He says, Todd, I don't get it. Just how many asteroids have to crash into the Earth before NASA knows there are asteroids made of rock and asteroids made of iron? Take a walk around the southwestern deserts, and you can pick them up like candy. This seems to be a big waste of time and money to park an asteroid in our orbit around the moon when we don't even have a way of getting to the moon. Considering NASA's history with math problems, they're likely to drop it on New York as much as park it in orbit. Maybe we should be concentrating on being able to get man in space over dropping rocks on our heads. Take it to the moon. And this is an article that was available on News 360. NASA plans to grab an asteroid that just whizzed past Earth. Anyway, this is a link will be up in the show notes. And I agree. Why do we need to park an asteroid out at the moon? Do they know something we don't? They need something to hurl at something else? What's the story? Got an email here from Terrence, and he's a longtime listener. And Terrence, thanks for sending your I don't think I've got an email from you before. He says, I'm a long-time listener via RSS. I have to chuckle when I hear complaints about internet speed. We have Verizon Wireless, no cable available, and with a Wilson amplifier. I'm happy when the speed reaches 150K. Usually it's closer to 90K. I can't watch a 2-minute YouTube without at least 2 breaks to catch up the download. I use a public library to download your show and other podcasts. Remember, it always can be worse. Terry in South Dakota. And Terry, you're right. Oh my goodness. And yeah, I don't know how I would survive, to be honest with you, with that kind of connectivity. God bless you for living there. And wow. Got an email from Andrew. He said, Todd, being a military man, you might like these photos from the Royal Navy and Royal Marines annual photography competitions. They're very cool. Thanks, Andrew, for sending. Of course, Andrew's one of our writers here at Geek News Central. He said, also, regarding CES, don't forget about us GNC bloggers. If there's any way we can help, let us know. Absolutely. You want to come to Vegas? So thanks, Andrew. I appreciate it. Andrew's in Belfast. So definitely appreciate him sending that email. And I think I just got in trouble. But anyway, corrected myself there. All right, I got email from Todd. And Todd says, hey, just listen to your new media show. And he wanted to share with me what he was using for listening to, basically using for podcasts. He's using Dogcatcher on Android tablet, and on PC desktop, he's using G-Potter. I didn't even know if that thing still worked. He said, only watch video podcasts, never audio. Have tried a lot of Android apps, and most just don't quite do it. Digcatcher works the best for so far as automatically downloads the content. I also use Stitcher, but not very often. Tune in for radio. Thanks for that, Todd. And also got an email from Herman, and he says, hey, Todd, a few weeks ago on Monday, you had a special guest fill in for you. It was Don Bain. I was wondering if he was the same person I had as a professor way back at Boston State. Now, Don comes from Boston. He said, it's been a real long time since I had a professor and haven't seen him in at least 20 years. I think it's him, but not sure. I Googled Don, but I can't seem to find, can you find out if it's the same person? Well, Herman already sent you the email with his information, and hope that you two are able to connect. Now, Don, are you hiding something from me here? I don't ever remember you. We've talked a lot. I don't remember you telling me you were a professor before, but maybe there's a connection there. The gadget professor, maybe Don was a actual professor at some point. Interesting mystery here. So we'll find out. We'll let everyone know. But Herman, thanks for the email. Definitely appreciate that. And thanks for being part of the Ohana here at Geek News Central. All right, this is going to wrap me up, folks. And we're right in hour 10. Holy smokes, we did a normal show tonight. But thanks again for being a longtime listener of the show. Thanks for being part of the Ohana. If you're new, stay subscribed. Come back with us each Monday and Thursday. Do the new media show. We've got Gadget Professor on off days. We've got Robot Underpants. Definitely check them all out at geeknewscentral.com. Close along with our great content as well. It's been my pleasure to bring you the show tonight. I look forward to being with you for 2 more shows before vacation starts. And I got to start recruiting guests that are going to be on as guest host while I'm on a vacation, and it is going to be a true vacation. All right, no shows, 3 shows. I'll be out for 3 shows, and fun in the sun in California. Maybe not so much sun in San Francisco, but we'll see where it goes. We just confirmed we're definitely doing Six Flags, so it's gonna be kids are gonna be like amusement parked out. 3 days in Disneyland, 1 day in Six Flags, and then 2 or 3, maybe 4 days in San Francisco, plus all the other stuff going on. I will need a vacation when I get back. Hey, it's been my pleasure bringing you a show. geeknews@gmail.com. @geeknews is the Twitter address. Follow me on Facebook, Google+, all the places. Thanks to the insiders and all of you that are part of the Ohana here. It's been my pleasure bringing the show tonight. We'll see you next time for a double Ohana, double aloha. Everyone take care. See you next time. Bye-bye.